Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our session on the listening section of the IELTS examination. We're going to be looking at, as you can see, examples, tips, and practice, how you can develop your ability in listening. So let's start by checking out the question types that you may meet in each of the 4 sections of the IELTS listening exam. Section 1. Now this is the easiest part of the exam, of the listening exam. So they start with the easiest and it gradually progresses to be more difficult in section 4. So section 1 is generally a gap fill, and you have to fill in the spaces with basic information. It's quite simple, but let's have a look and see if you can do it. Have a look at this question. Joining the local library. So you can see that this is an application form for joining, but there is some missing information. The name, the first name is Mark, but the second name is missing, number 1. Number 2, the address, the number of your house, and the name of the street are both missing. So 2 things there to fill in. And then your reason for joining, which is just 1 word. So let's see if you at home can do it. While I'm going to read, I'm going to be the recording today. I'm going to read you the tape script. Just listen carefully. Remember, you only hear the recording once in IELTS listening. So here we go. My full name is Mark Braithwaite. That's B-R-A-I-T-H-W-A-I-T-E. I live at number 18 Hill Street, Newtown. I'm joining the library because I'm about to start a postgraduate degree and I need access to books about the local area. End of recording. So that's the end of your input, your listening input. So let's see, have you completed the answers? They're not very many and not too hard, I hope. Let me tell you and share with you, and you have a look and see if you've got the same. Okay, so let's see. There you go. I hope you got the same answers. So, Mark Braithwaite. Now, the tape spelled out the surname, did the spelling, so it must be correct on your paper also. All right. 18 Hill Street. So 18 and Hill were missing. And your reason for joining was for a postgraduate degree study. Now, I added this note, check your spelling carefully, because unfortunately for you, if you make a mistake in any spelling in the IELTS listening, you will get your answer marked incorrect. You will not get any marks. That may seem a bit unfair, but that is the rule. So be very careful with your spelling, please. Okay, so that's the first section. Now, there's also this type of exercise. Section 2. This is a gap fill. It can be a multiple choice and a matching exercise. Let's have a look first. Now, this gap fill is a bit different, as you see, because you have a diagram. It's a diagram gap fill, so it's a little bit more complicated, but still not too difficult. When you see this diagram on your page, you will follow the numbers that you see. So, for example, we have number 11, 12, and 13 here. So obviously number 11 is the first thing you are going to fill in, then 12, then 13. So you are listening to the tape script to try to identify the places or the names of the places that are missing on the map. So in the exam, you will have a little time to look at it and think about what kind of things, what kind of vocabulary you might be considering. Okay, so let me read this one and let's see if you can do this one. Okay, number 2. The school is located in the centre of the town, not far from the shopping area and several prominent buildings. If you leave the school building and walk along the main high street, you'll see the cinema on the left just after the crossroads. Further along the high street, the road bends to your right, just after Woods Lane, and becomes East Avenue. And Town Hall Square is the large open area at the end of this street. Okay, so did you get the answers, the 3 answers? Let's see. I hope you got the same as I'm going to show you now. All right. So the answers are in purple print. 11, the cinema. So number 11 would be the cinema. Sorry, you can see number 11 there. Okay. The cinema, because they said on the left just after the crossroads, and that would have led you to understand which building was the cinema. Okay. East Avenue is number 12. That was the name of the road. The clue was this: the road bends to the right and becomes East Avenue. And the last one, 13, was Town Hall Square. Square was the missing word because it said it's the large open area at the end of this street. So these are the clues that led you to get the correct answers, hopefully. Okay. So carrying on with our examples from the exam. Another exercise type in section 2 is matching. So this is an example of your matching exercise. When can the visitors see each show? Write the correct letter, A, B, or C, next to questions 18 to 20. So you have the choices A, B, and C. All year round is A. During the school holidays is B. And once a year is C. So listening to the recording, you are going to identify number 18, magic on ice. Does it happen, can visitors see it in A, or B, or C? Number 19, animal fun and games. When can visitors see this? A, B, or C? Okay, and the same for the rides and slides activity. When can visitors go to see this? So listen carefully and let's see if you can get these right as well. Okay. Right, the recording's starting now. We put on 3 main shows for children, but parents should make sure that they book well in advance to avoid disappointment. Our children's shows are very popular. Tickets for Magic on Ice sell out very quickly because this is our Christmas show and it only runs for 2 weeks during the Christmas holiday. If you're looking for something to do with your children at the weekend, I would recommend a visit to our farm to see animal fun and games. This show is open on Saturdays and Sundays during both term time and school holidays. Finally, rides and slides is closed during the school term, but open when children are off school. Okay, so I hope you got some answers there. Let's have a look. Right. Okay, so you can see that's the question again. So I've put the answers here. Let's see. Magic on Ice, the answer was C. Why? Because the recording said it's on for 2 weeks during the Christmas holiday. That is the December holiday, so only once a year. Okay, one time in the year. Animal fun and games was A, all year round. Why? I'm sure you know, because it's on in the term time and the holidays, so all the time. All right? And rides and slides, the answer was B, because they said it was open when the children are off school, so only in the school holidays. So not too hard, I think, to get that one, hopefully. Let's progress. Section 3. Now we're getting a bit harder now as we go through the exam. 3 and 4 are a little bit more difficult, more challenging. As I wrote here, we're going to look at a multiple choice question. And that is more difficult, partly because there's a lot to read. So you have to really read and listen at the same time, which is a bit challenging sometimes, okay? But I'm sure you can do it. All right, so let's try. Yes, my tip, you'll see here, tip, underline keywords during the pause. They always give you a little while to just read the question. Don't just read it, think about the words, the keywords, the words that help you understand what they want, and just underline those. They are the words that you are really going to be listening for while you're listening to the recording, okay? So let's see first then which words you would underline in these questions while you're looking at them before you listen. So the subjects in Roger's study were chosen because, now 3 choices. A, they had all volunteered to participate in other studies in the past. Or B, each of them had achieved excellent results in various physical tests. Or C, they were all of a similar age. So just take a minute now and think about in each question which words would you underline as the most important words. Okay, that will help you when you're listening. Okay, so let's move on and see if we agree. This is what I thought. I hope you've got a similar idea. So in the question, the most important words are subjects, chosen, because. That's what you're listening for. Why were the subjects chosen? All right. A, volunteered for other studies or studies in the past. They'd volunteered studies in the past. That's the important, essential information in that sentence, okay? Each of them had achieved excellent results in physical tests. Again, those are the key words, and I hope you got the same. And similar age, again, are the key words in C. Are you ready? This is the recording 3. The process of selecting people for the study included various stages. First, our preference was to use people who had previously put themselves forward for similar studies carried out by members of our department. We chose a small number of participants from the department database, but unfortunately, there were not enough people who met our requirements. So, our second step was to find some new volunteers. Next, we needed to select the 10 most suitable participants from our volunteer group. We put all of them through a series of exercises to measure their strength, stamina, and balance. We had expected the younger volunteers to achieve the best results in these tests, but we were surprised by the performances of some of our older volunteers in the end. We chose the 10 highest scoring volunteers to be our study subjects, and we were pleased to have a wide range of ages in the group. Now, as you can hear, that was a bit more difficult, okay? A bit more challenging, but I'm sure you managed to understand the main ideas and identify which of these three was the answer. So let's see together, okay? Okay, so as you can see, it was B. All right, did you get that? B. Let's hope so, okay? The subjects in Roger's study were chosen because B, each of them had achieved excellent results in various physical tests. Now, what you have to realize in this section of the exam is that the speaker used words with similar meanings to the answer you had in front of you. They're not going to use the exact words because that is too easy. They will use words that are similar in meaning or even synonyms. And you are expected to be able to recognize that and decide on the correct choice. So, in this example, excellent results, which was the wording of B, in the recording, the words used were highest scoring, which means the same, but they're not exactly the same words used for the similar meaning, okay? And then in the recording, the words they used were measure, strength, stamina, and balance. And in the question, the words used were various physical tests. So you can see why it's more challenging, because you don't hear the exact words, but you have to know that they're very similar in meaning. Okay? All right, so we're coming now to the final question, last but not least, because this is actually the most challenging. Okay? Gap fill multiple choice. Let's have a look. Only 2 questions, but they're a bit more difficult. The recording is more academic, let's say. You can see the title, Understanding Leadership. It's quite an academic. It's actually from a lecture, so it's not going to be your everyday language. It's more sophisticated language in this section. So successful leaders are able to see an overall something of what is happening, and then they have the confidence to something, responsibilities to other people. Again, try now, underline the keywords in those 2 questions, will you please? Let's see if you agree. This is my idea. I would underline successful leaders, see an overall something. Those would be my keywords. They have the confidence to something, responsibilities. So confidence to responsibilities. There is a clue here. There are 2 clues here. Note, an, which is here, an overall, shows that number 31 is going to be a noun. You say an apple. It's a noun that follows the article an, isn't it? Okay? And number 32, they have the confidence to something. That shows, the to shows that it's going to be a verb. So please listen carefully for the noun and the verb that will fit these 2 spaces or gaps. So let me read this bit. This is the final recording. I'll just start now. The article entitled Understanding Leadership came out of a collaboration between the university's business school and our contacts in several successful medium-sized companies in the city. The initial finding that stood out when we looked at the practices of the most consistent achievers was that these people have a very clear idea of the direction of their businesses. They see the big picture of what is going on within their companies, in their particular markets, and in the wider world. They also tend to be particularly good at motivating and empowering those around them. The best leaders understand implicitly the need to trust their staff, and they are happy to delegate tasks and duties to others. Okay, so that is your listening text or your audio, and let's see if you got the correct answer. So, successful leaders are able to see an overall picture. Number 31 should be picture, because the text or the audio said they see the big picture. Same thing as saying they are able to see an overall picture. It's the same meaning, okay? Second one, they have the confidence to delegate responsibilities to other people. That's the answer there. They said in the recording they are happy to delegate tasks and duties, which means the same thing as your question, okay? So again, you're listening for the same meaning, but with different vocabulary, synonyms, or similar language. Okay, so that is an overview of your listening exam. Let me just give you another piece of information here. What you need to do now, you've seen the overall overview of the exercises. Of course, you have probably already got official IELTS books from Cambridge or a similar publishing company. You're going online, for example, to IELTS.org. In fact, there are many other sites online. But the key as well is to remember it doesn't have to be an IELTS listening in order to develop your ability. Any other general listening practice will help you develop your ear for listening. So you can watch TV in English if possible, films in English, videos on the internet. Just listen to as much English as possible, English songs. Anything in English will help your ear tune in to the language and will improve your listening skills later for your IELTS exam. And also last, don't forget, a lot of listening also happens when you are having a conversation in English. When you have a conversation in English, you are listening as well as speaking. So try and do as much of that as possible. So good luck, and thank you for watching, and I hope you found this of benefit and useful, and I wish you all the best. Thank you. Bye.